So I'll say Yaldi. I'll
Well,
take him
I
as
mean,
well.
oh hell yeah! I mean, that's the biggest news of the day. Is there something else you were talking about?
I'm scratching my head. There's something we should talk about. I just can't quite
Oh,
put
I
my
know what it
finger
is.
on what it is.
Oh no, I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is.
What, Griffiths is here?
The big news
Looks
of the
good.
day was how Roy Keane's feelings were hurt because Celtic didn't push out the boat for him and make him feel wanted.
My heart
And
bleeds
I
for Roy
understand.
Keane.
I know that's what it was. That was the I saw that the other day. We haven't had a chance to talk about it since. And I mean, he was upset, and and that's big news. And I know he means a lot to everyone. He was Captain America, he was Captain Fantastic at Manchester United. Irish international, the whole thing. And he played at Celtic for what, 8 minutes?
Yeah, we should
And
we should really we should send as Smell Like Love podcast. We should send Roy Keane a bunch of flowers and a box of chocolates in a wee heart shape, just to let him know that we really
oh,
care
we love
about
him.
Roy.
We love him. We love him. I know that's what it was.
Fucking
And
hell.
I know. I mean, that's big news. I mean, for him to sit there down at Villa and just absolutely just worry about it and be all upset and everything else. I mean, I felt really bad for him. And
Yeah,
I know that's the big news, right? Is that the news you're talking about?
that isn't the big news. There is some big news. It's the biggest news I think we've had in a while. Some people will deny it, but it kind of is, and it's kind of something we predicted. But we're not going to talk about it right now. We're going to go move on to some other stuff. All right, let's do the regular stuff. Let's let's leave it hanging for a bit longer. We will talk about it. We will talk
All
about
right,
it
so
in a minute.
give me your best and worst of the internet. Let's do that. So what was your best?
The worst thing on the internet was fucking
Oh, worst. Okay.
Guidetti for 5 million at the Daily Record. Fuck's sake, I can't believe you guys have jobs talking about that, man. 5 million for Guidetti. Absolute nonsense. So that's the worst. The best thing for the internet was the video that you sent me from Celtic Park. If you didn't see this, add Dr. J on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Dr. J sent me a video of him steamboated in Celtic Park when Griffiths came on, being like, "Oh my god, Paulie will be having a fucking wank right now," or whatever. You just look so bluttered in the video. It was it was funny, man. So, that was my favorite thing of the internet. It was also weird seeing you at Celtic Park because obviously we've never been to a game together or that. So, that was my best and worst. What about you?
Okay, let's start. The worst of the internet for me this week, or since the last we talked, was this. I guess he's a pop star. His name's Paolo Nutini
He's a
or
wee
Paolo Nutini.
fanny.
He's like a Celtic fan. So devoted to this stupid thing called Football Manager, right? That when he went in to meet the Celtic fans, it was reported that he snubbed one of the players because in his Football Manager, in this parallel virtual world that he lives in, he didn't actually try very hard in Football Manager games. So he was not nice to the Celtic player in real life.
Can I add some colour to this? My mates went to school with Paolo Nutini. Paolo Nutini apparently said was never really interested in football. Paolo Nutini also, this is a fact, auditioned for S Club Juniors. Now, if you don't know who S Club 7 is, Dr. J, S Club 7 were this horrible boy-girl band in the 1990s, or late 1990s anyway, and they made a kids version of them, which were S Club Juniors, which they were all meant to look like S Club 7. Paolo Nutini actually auditioned to be in S Club Juniors, right? Then he got signed to a record deal, and the record label were like, "Oh, we'll make you a wee bit rock and roll, so we'll scruff your hair up a little bit and say you love football and going out and the drink and all that." My mates fucking hate him, and they were like, "Oh, he was never a Celtic fan, never a fan in a million years, he was never into it." And then he suddenly becomes famous and then uses it to sell records. So Pello Notini can take a fucking kick in the balls for all I care. I think he's an absolute
There you go.
fanny.
That was
I
easy
think,
enough.
I think his music is fucking shit as well. I think it's
I don't know.
you know what
I don't know who the guy is.
you know what his music is, right? See,
No.
when we girls, right, listen to boy bands, you listen to NSYNC and listen to Backstreet Boys and all those boy bands.
You mean
And
One Direction?
One Direction these days, right? But then they go to uni. They go to uni, and they're worried that that will not make them look cool. So they've got to have this like new thing that's kind of like S Club 7 or kind of like Backstreet Boys or whatever, but it's an indie version of it, a cookie cutter indie. It's Paolo Nutini. I think he's fucking shit. So he can jog on. We'll put him in the Yaldi and jog on. He gets a jog on from me.
All right. So you ready? So my best of the internet the best,
Best thing.
the best thing was obviously we haven't mentioned it yet. Lenny got a job down at Bolton. He lost yesterday or Friday to Norwich, which is okay. He's 2-2, so he's won one more game than his predecessor has.
Cool.
But
Congrats to
he's
Lenny
got 6
anyway.
points out of 12. He's
Okay.
doing well.
Right.
His fans love him, right? But the picture introducing him was an absolute riot. It was Lenny next to a picture of next to it says Bolton, our the history of Bolton, or we have history, or something like that. And it was him standing with a big shit-eating grin on his face. And what the comment where I saw it was a Patty McCourt parody Twitter account that said, even if Bolton, Lenny is taking the piss out of Rangers. And it was an absolute, I saw it and I almost pissed my pants because it's Lenny smiling next to a thing that says our history. And it was just one of those things. I don't know if he meant it, but I know as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I know what he means. And it was just an absolute riot to see. But along those lines, and that's my best. I thought was an absolute riot. But and oh, by the way, yes, my video of me videoing the announcement of Lee Griffiths coming on against Killy, and then me turning on the camera on myself and going, "Oh, I know for a fact right now, Paulie D is absolutely getting his wank on." But anyway, that's. If you want, it's on my Twitter feed. Just go look it up or find me on Facebook or whatever. Everybody, it's an absolute classic.
Should we have a wee update on the hair? Because I think Griffiths and Stokes' hair looking good. We need constant updates
Stokes,
on the hair.
I mean, look, that Chia Pet thing's beginning to fill in for him. Both of them.
It is, man. Stokes is improving his game as his hair grows in. He's like Samson or something. But anyway, the top 5 and bottom 5. What are your bottom 5 things of the week?
Oh, bottom 5. Obviously, for me, the bottom 5 is Ambrose even making the bench. That's the absolute worst thing in the world. We've got to find a way to get rid of him.
I love the fact that your hatred of Ambrose now isn't just that he's a Celtic player. You're actually angry the man earns a living. Like,
no.
I
I don't begrudge him the ability to earn a living. I just begrudge him the ability to be on the fucking Celtic bench. Anyway, so and speaking of which, the absolute funniest thing was for Halloween was a picture of obviously photoshopped of Ambrose dressed as a bomb diffusing technician. Saying, "Here, Ambrose is here."
He is a bomb scare. That's brilliant. I love that.
He is a bomb scare.
Congratulations to whoever made that. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That would have been one of my best
Of course,
things.
all I ever hear every time, especially when Griffiths came on and I sent you the message, you texted back to me, "What a player!" And all I hear is, "What the player? What the player?" So the other thing I wanted to say that was an absolute riot was on the top website, and what they said was that Dirk had his birthday, and Celtic said they wanted to say, "Why don't you go ahead and say happy birthday to Dirk Boerichter, Celtic fans?" And it was an absolute riot because some of the things they said was, "Dirk, be careful. Please don't blow out your lung while blowing out some birthday candles. Please wear gloves. We don't want you to get a paper cut infected because you opened up your birthday card. Stay away from the knives because we don't want you to cut yourself while you're cutting your birthday cake." And all that's pretty funny until you find out the absolute second half of this was he did go under the knife this week.
Did he?
He had knee surgery this week. They found he had another knee issue, so he had knee surgery this week. He'll be out for 2 more months.
Well, I'm not, like I said before in the show, I'm never going to slag a player for being injured. I'm going to slag a player for being shite, and I think he's shite. So, fair enough. It says a lot about the Celtic team turnaround that this time last year we were talking about Bo Richter, Pookie, and Baldy, and absolutely none of them are anywhere near the first team anymore. And now we're talking about Guidetti and co. So, yeah, a bit of an upgrade there. All right, so what was the rest of your bottom 5?
The bottom 5. The bottom 5 was for me the grief that Lenny took on Facebook when he took that Bolton job.
I never saw any of that. A fair play to Lenny.
Yeah.
Good luck to him. So
Good luck to him. I mean, somebody, some idiot, basically said, "Look, I look forward to receiving my season ticket back." He was writing this to Bolton's website in due time. How dare you release a shirt raising funds for British troops and then appoint a man who condemns them? Bolton Wanderers are scum. I mean, come on. When has he ever done that? I mean, it's
let's
just
just stay. I mean, like I think what you need to think is 99, like a huge chunk of football fans are idiots, right? We're Celtic fans. We stay away from these fucking nuggets that come out with shit like that. You just have to accept that there are idiots out there with all these stupid, harebrained opinions, and fuck them. Let's just not worry ourselves about that. Just ignore
Oh
them.
no, no! I just that to me that was the bottom because I know how much I've met the guy and I could see how much he cares in his eyes and the passion that he has for his team is phenomenal. And to think that to say that was crazy. But to that point, I want to give you props because remember we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about uh about something else that and this goes into my top things of the week. I don't have five of each, but the top things. They had the European Club Union meetings at Celtic Park last week,
Hmm.
and one of the things that they actually talked about out loud and mentioned in a press release was the whole idea of regional leagues. And you start talking about is there
Yeah,
a chance that there could be a regional league? Those type of comments. Remember we had talked about after the vote and everything else, and then moving Celtic getting the chance to move down south, maybe that would happen. There's articles and CQ and all that stuff that were just ridiculous. You had said that you didn't want to see that happen, and the reason why was because if you think it was the whole idea of Celtic being paranoid is bad in Scotland, imagine what it would be down there. And
yeah.
after reading comments about Lenny, it was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm beginning to believe you, and I'm beginning to agree with you that I don't know if I really think the grass is greener. And but that
Yeah.
was that. But that commentary was in my top five. I thought that was interesting that it's finally starting to come out.
Effectively, Dr. J, see like Bolton stretching down to about Bradford in England. That's kind of England's equivalent of the Bible Belt, mental racists and other stuff. I actually quite like Bolton Wanderers as a team. See, as a kid, they had Andy Walker, and he was a Celtic player, so I always looked out for them, and I looked out for Manchester City because they had Jerry Craney, who is a Celtic player. I hate City now because they've got tons of money, but Bolton are still pish, and they've got Lenny, so good luck to them. All right, cool. So I'll do my bottom five. My bottom five are as follows. It's low attendances as per usual. Some of our defending has been comical, so our defence. Izzy's and Lustig's injury concerns, they're obviously both playing, but it's still like every time they go for a challenge, I'm shiting it to be honest with you. Izzy went down twice in the last couple of games, needing attention. Lustig got taken off early today and gave Matthews a run out. So if we can get Lustig and Izzy fit, we've got two great football players on our hands. Yeah, my other bottom thing would be Celtic TV. I made a big thing about it on Twitter. Yet again, streaming not work for anybody, and we spoke about it, so that's down there. And the overall bottom thing would be the upcoming media hoo-ha about a certain upcoming game. And we could talk about it now, but we won't. We'll save it for a bit later. Alright, what are your top five things of the week?
I literally only have one top five thing,
So you've got a top
and
one thing.
I have a top one thing, and that is the fact that I saw the other day that Mike Ashley owns the copyright to the Sevco badge. Isn't it funny that he actually owns the trademark to the badge, but he doesn't own the team? I mean, that's an absolute riot. I think that to me was the funniest thing in the internet all week. Absolute riot. The best thing. Absolute too funny.
Oh well, that would be a good segue for us to move on and talk about Sevco. But we're not going to talk about them right now. We will at some point. Anyway, right, my top five things of the week are Super Guidetti banging in the goals. Fucking love the guy. What's this? 9 goals in 9 games, is it? Is that it?
Guy?
Our other thing is top five of the joint top of the Europa League. Use of the 4-4-2 formation and putting two up top, so Ronnie Dyler's ability to adapt to different formations and stuff. The other one would be team gradually building momentum and overall team performance improving. So that's a huge